Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
Hey everyone, Sue here at 1A Auto, and today we are installing a front flex hose for the brake system on our 07 Mazda 3. If you need any parts for your car, click on the link below and head on over to 1aauto.com. So we're going to loosen the lug nuts with the weight of the car on the tire, and it's a 21 millimeter. Let's see if this is any. So now you're going to raise the vehicle with a jack and jack stands or a 2-post lift if you have that. And now I can take the lug nuts off. It's up in the air. I'm going to remove the flex hose into the caliper. The nut is all rounded off, so I'm going to use locking pliers because we're going to replace it anyways. So this usually damages them. Not strongly recommended to use if you're going to reuse it. Normally that would be a 13 millimeter wrench. And I think the best process here, if we're going to replace it anyways, is I can just take a pair of cutters and cut that tin right out. I'm going to end up cutting the flex hose because we're replacing it anyways, and then I can force a socket on that flare. Make sure you have a catch pan below you. And now I can put a socket, a twisty socket, or even get a better grip with a pair of locking pliers. But now everything's out of my way and I'm going to get that out of the caliper. I have these twisty sockets. See, they swirl around and they lock on. So I'm going to hammer that on there, just tap it on. It's 13 millimeter. And use my 3/8 ratchet. See if we can get this thing to come out of the caliper. There we go. The flex hose attaches to a steel line. This is a 10 millimeter, and I'm going to use a flare wrench. I've had this sprayed for quite some time because of the trouble I ran into here. Replacing a flex hose is easier than building a steel line. So this is the side that you really want to come free. Oh, woo. See, it pays to just take some time, and I sprayed that over an hour ago. Just let that rust inhibitor do its thing. Nice. This is being held in by 2 spring clamps, those flat style clamps that look like horseshoes. There's one here and one there. And I'm going to get a pair of flat handle pry bar and get her out of there. Just a matter of putting the flat edge, whether it's a screwdriver, pry bar, whatever works for you. Here's the spring style. And let's get this one out. Let's see if I can get it from the back side. I'm going to get a pair of pliers or something and just pull it out now. That's a little bit of a bugger to get in there. Because I can't destroy it, I gotta reuse it. There we go. Perfect. Now with the clip out, just gonna pull that flex line out. There we go. Manipulate that out. And there we have our old flex hose. On the new flex hose, you'll see there's notches. So there's 2 notches, and so I'm going to line those up. This is pretty rusted, but it looks like it, if you were at the angle we're standing at, I'm going to say 12 and 6 o'clock. That's what it looks like to me. There we go. Before I put that clamp in, the spring clip, I'm going to start my steel line. That way I have the freedom of moving this flex hose around to center it. Perfect. Now I'm going to put the spring clip back in. That goes, the tension goes the opposite way. I'm trying to pull it down into that bracket. So it guides in like that. Just take a small hammer, tap it in. Now we can run the hose over to the strut bracket. That has a flat spot on it also. So if you look here, see the flat spot on the line? The flat spot on this one is inward. And now we can put the spring clip on. Just guide that in there, tap that one on. We're going to replace the caliper because the bleeder screw broke, and when we opened the bleeder screw to do the front brake surface, the bleeder screw snapped off, so I have to replace the caliper. In the process, I have to replace the flex hose, so we're going to do the caliper now. I already did the flex hose. I used a pair of hose pliers. They're made of plastic, and they just squeeze rubber hoses tight so that the fluid would stop dripping out. I only recommend using these on a new hose, not an older hose. If the hose has tons of mileage on it, when you squeeze it, they're already probably brittle on the inside, and you could be doing a lot more damage. So you can also use a rubber boot, cap it off on the bottom, or you just don't want to run your master cylinder all the way out. So use your discretion. Going to reattach the new flex hose to caliper. Start that in the seat. Start that with fingers so you don't cross thread it. Just tighten this down with your 11mm wrench. You want to bottom them out and really snug it. Yeah, that's good. Now I'm going to go lower the vehicle, top my fluid off, and I'm going to pump my brake up. Don't forget to disconnect your clamp if you have one on there. Lowered my vehicle, and now I'm at my master cylinder. And like everything, you check your manufacturer specs. This does say right on the cap, only .3 fluid, which I have. And now I'm going to top that off. Then I'll pump my brakes up and start my bleed. Always reinstall the cap. You never want dirt, debris, any foreign substance to fall in. This will also be a good time to check for any leaks, to make sure all the hoses were closed properly. Now I'm going to go open the bleeder screws and gravity bleed. I've taken the cap back off, and I'm going to double check my top off my brake fluid because the new caliper got filled. I don't want to open the bleeder screw without making sure that I have enough fluid. Now I can go to the right front and open the bleeder screw. The bleeder screw on this particular car is an 8mm wrench or socket. We're just going to let the gravity bleed and the fluid will come out. It's very important at this point not to pump the brakes. Now we're just going to let the fluid come out and gravity bleed. Hopefully get all the air out. I am going to go to the other side after and bleed that side also, because we replaced the caliper over there. In hydraulics, it's good to do them as a pair for equal stopping power. Even if one isn't visually bad, if it's older, the piston could be slower than the newer one, and you'll have different pressures. I'm going to close this now and check my fluid. I'm ready to put the tires on. I'm going to top off my fluid right to the max line. Let it settle down. And replace the cover. Once I lower this to the ground, always tighten wheels in a star pattern. And our wheel torque on our 07 Mazda 3 is 87 foot-pounds. Always go around twice.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at 1AAuto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.